Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert with extensive experience in modern hospitality operations, and I am so pleased to welcome all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, to your online learning journey. We're going to be diving into one of the most crucial skills in our industry, forecasting demand. It might sound complicated, but it's really the key to unlocking profitability. And today we're going to break down exactly how it works.
So right off the bat, let's get one thing straight. The flow of guests into a hotel, it isn't just a matter of luck or chance. Now, I know it can feel chaotic sometimes, but it's actually shaped by a whole combination of really powerful forces. And just grasping this one idea, that demand is shaped, not random, well, that's the first real step to mastering forecasting.
So this is the big question, isn't it? And by the end of our time together, you're going to see that while demand definitely has its complexities, it is absolutely driven by predictable patterns. Your job, as a future leader in hospitality, is to learn how to read those patterns. So, let's get started.
All right, first up, we're going to start by looking at the major factors that operate outside of your hotel's direct control. You can think of these as, like the big currents in the ocean. They affect everyone, and you've got to know how to navigate them to get where you're going. This right here is a perfect illustration of the most visible driver of all, seasonality. Just take a look. A leisure resort is going to see those totally predictable peaks during the summer and holidays, right? But a business hotel, say in the middle of a city, its peaks are during the work week, and then demand just drops off on the weekends. See? Two completely different rhythms, but both are entirely predictable.
And that leads to this really crucial point. Seasonality should never be a surprise. It's not something that happens to you. It's a foundational, structural part of your business reality. The best financial plans don't just react to the seasons, they're actually built around them from day one.
And beyond the seasons, you've got these broader market trends to think about. A strong economy probably means more people have money for travel. More flights coming into your city? That can open up brand new markets. But you also have to watch out, because a bunch of new hotels opening up, your competitive supply, could end up watering down that demand. Keeping an eye on these trends helps you see that bigger picture.
Okay, so let's shift gears. We're going to move from that wide market level view and really zoom in on the guests themselves, because how their behaviors and their preferences change over time, well, that's another critical layer in forecasting demand accurately.
So where are your guests actually coming from? This chart shows a pretty typical mix. Are they booking through online travel agencies? You'll hear them called OTAs, like Expedia. Are they coming directly to your own website? Or maybe through large corporate accounts? Understanding this channel mix is absolutely vital because each channel has a different cost, and the huge rise of digital platforms has totally changed how and when people make their decisions.
And one of the biggest changes that technology has brought us is this: shorter booking windows. Think about it. People are now totally comfortable booking a hotel on their phone just days or even hours before they show up. Now, for a forecaster, this creates a lot more, volatility. It's just more uncertainty to deal with in the short term.
Okay, now let's talk about the most empowering part of all of this. We've talked about all these external forces, but you are not just sitting back and watching things happen. Your hotel has its own internal levers that you can pull to directly influence your own demand.
This is where you really get to be proactive. It's a simple cause and effect loop. Let's say your marketing team launches a new promotion. That action drives new bookings. We're talking about demand that literally wouldn't have existed otherwise. And, as a result, your forecast goes up. You see? You're not just predicting the future anymore, you're actively shaping it.
And please, never, ever underestimate the power of service. It's honestly one of the most significant internal factors there is. Excellent, memorable service directly drives repeat business, and that creates a reliable, wonderful base of future demand. But the flip side is true too. A poor guest experience actively suppresses it, which makes your job a whole lot harder. So, we've looked at the big external forces, we've zoomed in on guest behavior, and we've talked about your own internal actions. So how do we bring it all together? Well, this requires a specific mindset, one that perfectly blends hard data with human insight. It's part art, part science.
And this is really what it all comes down to. Accurate forecasting is never just about plugging a bunch of numbers into a system and seeing what comes out. It happens right at the intersection where data-driven analysis meets your professional judgment and your experience. The data can point the way, for sure, but it's your human insight that provides that crucial context.
And here it is, the ultimate takeaway. Why does any of this matter?
Because hotels that truly understand these drivers, they don't just create better spreadsheets, they forecast more accurately, and maybe more importantly, they respond to change with confidence, not panic. It gives you a sense of control in a very dynamic industry.
So we'll end with this question for you to think about. We've laid out the forces that shape demand, the external, the behavioral, and the internal. Now that you have this framework, the real challenge for you is to start thinking about how you're going to apply this knowledge. How will you respond to the next change, the next opportunity, or the next challenge that comes your way?